What can a person do to actually prepare yourself for an anal sex scene, really?
I don't know. Obviously, I didn't do it, huh?
Action.
And this right here is the enema.
Lubes, rubbers, dildos, vibrators, chains.
Hi, I'm Alexis DeVille.
And I'm Ron Jeremy.
Welcome to another episode of Porn-O-Rama.
The show that takes you behind the scenes into the actual making of X-rated movies.
What do we have for today, Ron?
Well, Alexis, not all porno films go according to plan. Sometimes there are little mistakes or mishaps. Like, for example, if the actress has an accidental leakage.
Or perhaps the actor can't get it up.
And when he does, he misses the target.
These and more embarrassing moments
are coming up as Porn-O-Rama takes you behind the scenes.
We're at the set right now, and we're about ready to do an anal scene. We can't show any hardcore, of course, but we can get a sneak of what it's all about.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
This is Ron Vogel, and we're here on the set. How are things going?
Things are going rather well. We just had Francesca do an anal. It was a killer anal scene. But the hardest thing to light is an anal, because you have to show that the vagina is not entered and that the back end is. That's what you have to show when you light it. And if there's any shadows in the wrong place and everything, it confuses the viewer. So did I do okay?
Well, definitely, and yeah, I can see where you're coming from, that there are people that would be more interested in anal, and they have to know that that's really what's going on. So.
Yes.
How was the scene?
Wonderful.
A lot of work? Well, we noticed that you had a couple of times break the scene. You had to stop shooting, run into the bathroom, wash your dinkle, and then come running right back again. What was the reason for that? They really want to know about this because it's real and it's honest. And funny. That's why you're laughing.
I had to wash my dick.
Why?
Because when you do an A, sometimes it's messy.
And was this a little messier than other scenes have been?
It was messier than most scenes, and some scenes are quite clean, some scenes are quite messy. This was like mediocre.
Do you find that certain positions make more or less mess? Like if a girl's sitting over you versus you going over them, with or without gravity?
Did you find that it turned you off at all when the mess happened?
Well, if I let myself think about it too much like you guys are forcing me to do, I'd say it would. Well, I just try not to think about it because it's my job to do my job, and it's not my job to think about what I'm doing.
Do girls get embarrassed when that happens? Did she seem embarrassed at all?
Sometimes they're embarrassed. Sometimes they get a kick out of the fact that you have to go wash up and they just laugh at you.
And that sometimes the little dick gets a little shriveled sometimes as you're washing it in the warm water, correct?
Yeah, so?
Can a girl prepare for it at all?
Yes, a girl can prepare for it. She can not eat, she can enemize, she can clean herself, and she can be ready for it. Sometimes I don't have time to do that with the shooting schedules the way they are.
Fleet enemas for anal sex scene only. By the way, I believe a girl should always use the fleet enema about an hour before a sex scene. Girls would not use an enema right before the anal sex scene because things will be too loose up there, leak. So they'll usually put this in an hour before. And the Today Sponge, of course, is for the pussy for extra protection. So,
Chris, let her come out on the couch. She needs to come over. Her butt has to hang over the edge. Let her come toward us. Okay, there you go.
How'd you like your first experience when you did your first scene? How long? A few months ago?
Yeah.
Were you nervous? I mean, was it weird now that you have cameras, you have to redo something? You haven't got the freedom.
Yeah, it was really weird because I had to, the first thing I did was with two men, and it was just really awkward. Because instead of just like doing what comes naturally, they're telling you move this way, move that way, and they're sticking cameras in your face or wherever else they choose to stick them, or hold that position. You know, let me get a still of that, or hold that. I have to get it from a different angle. It's just kind of annoying sometimes.
Were you able to actually get into it sexually, or was it too much technicality?
The first time there was too much technicality.
I thought you were the guy that brings the Abilenes, the lubrication, brings the water, the coffee. What's this?
This is sick. That's what this shit is. It's a demotion from what I had before. It just really sucked. I gotta pick up douches over there and just fucking stains. Oh, they make me clean up their bathrooms. They make me do everything there.
So filmmakers would not hire you because you insisted on wearing a rubber?
Most wouldn't. Most would rather not deal with the hassle of dealing with reality.
One
Besides,
reason.
I hated using them fucking things, man. They suck.
But does it affect you when a girl wears a sponge, or if you're asked to wear a rubber? Does it make the scene more difficult?
Yes, a sponge doesn't bother me at all, but I just move them out of the way when I go pretty deep up there. A rubber, it does take a little momentum away, and sometimes, depending on the rubber, there's some rubbers that are actually pretty good out there that are thin, and that you can actually even masturbate with them and get hard.
I mean, we got enough things working against us as it is. A camera up your ass, 20 people standing around, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're tired or whatever. I mean, it kind of was just like one more thing to make it that much more difficult.
So to get hard with a rubber on makes it difficult?
Well, yeah.
With the rubbers, sometimes I have a problem because a lot of the rubbers that we have or that are used are a little too small for me.
No, I'm going to be sick again.
What do you find to be the most frustrating thing in porn?
When you're in the middle of a scene and they have to break and relocate the set.
like you just did, huh?
Yeah, that's very frustrating. And
well,
I think I'm up.
Marcello, is your dick really that big that when you fuck a girl in the ass, she bleeds?
My dick is not that small. It's not that big, but it certainly can, leave a little.
Anyway, you'd see these boards here. Marcello was standing on them because he needed the extra height. This way his dick could reach your ass.
And she was gone for a couple of weeks, so we didn't get to practice a lot.
What actually happened?
It was enough because I had a whole piece of paper towel to put in there. It was like all red, it was a lot of, enough.
And seeing she had one leg like this, and
Ronnie,
and he was going
Ronnie,
like.
that's enough.
And he
I
had
think they got the point.
Did it hurt?
I suppose because she was kind of complaining a little bit, but since I don't have a dick like my friend Ron Jeremy here, the damage can't be that bad. But it was enough.
Well, how can a girl prepare for this in the future so she would not bleed again?
Well, since we're together anyway, I think we should practice a little more and be, maybe a couple of days before the scene, we get to practice and loosen up the muscles a little bit. So
do you put in fingers first and stuff?
The finger. No, actually, I like to put my tongue in it first.
Tongue in the ass?
Yeah.
Francesca, come here a sec.
Yes, Paul.
You got a problem.
It's a fucking lousy script.
We realize that a lot of the problems aren't always getting up. It's sometimes keeping hard or keeping from coming. So you have no erection problems, but you're saying that occasionally you, like as you did today, you pop too soon?
Yeah, basically sometimes it happens. You just, you get excited, you get too hot in the scene, usually with the girl, you just get going into it and it just gets too hot. No problem with, erections or anything or getting soft. It's just basically keeping them from popping. That's the big one. You just try to keep your mind off of it. You try to think up numbers or usually I hum the Bonanza tune.
Well, in real life, you could just stop. Tell the girl, hold on a minute, give her some head, do something different, then put it back in again. Yeah. But in porno, you got to keep on stroking. Yeah, that makes it so tough, right?
Yeah, you got to keep on pumping, so it's like you got to really shut it down.
So how many times did you come in this scene?
Just once. Just one time.
How many strokes did you let go before you came?
God, I have no idea.
How many minutes do you think the scene ran before you came?
About I don't know, about 25 minutes, I think.
Have you ever had to kick someone off the set or ask them to leave because they just weren't doing what you needed them to do as far as the sex scene?
He wasn't supposed to come. He came like that. I try and give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I've never fired any cast member. I've never hired them again if they didn't give me a good scene.
When you're on the set and you see that there's tension going on between maybe a wife and husband that are going to be doing a scene, how do you deal with that tension?
I try all my sets. I try and keep fairly stress-free for the cast. Hard on the crew sometimes.
I won't have fuck-ups on my set.
Sex is something that's fun and has to be portrayed fun, and people have to enjoy what they're doing to have it come across. There are a lot of couples that get in fights on the set, and I'll make a joke about it or pull them aside and talk to them for a while, and they generally get over it.
Now, you never done, you said you're going to try someday in your own personal life, double penetration?
I've thought about it before. Of course, I've thought about how it would feel.
It's a different feeling from what I understand.
Like if you're having sex and his dick's inside you and you have like a vibrator on you, my ex-fiance told me he could feel the vibrator making his dick jerk around and made him come.
Oh, yeah. If I got my dick in a girl's pussy and she has a vibrator in her ass or vice versa, oh, yeah, you're feeling it on your own dick through a thin little wall. So you know your lines, Francesca?
No, I don't.
Why?
Because they just threw the script at me just right now in makeup.
Well, what's more important in a movie like this anyway, the lines or the sex is more important?
Yes, it is.
Have you worked with Shayla before?
Yes, I have, and Cocketeer too.
Okay, and you guys actually into each other reality-wise or business?
Yes, reality-wise.
Oh.
I want to capture this on film for the first time.
Do you have any trepidation? Are you at all nervous before a scene starts?
No, not really. Just about the lines.
How about your first scene you ever did?
Yes, I was very nervous.
But now it's kind of like old hat?
Yeah, a little bit.
You relaxed?
Yeah. I can't wait that long.
There are more people in porno films than just the ones you see in front of the camera.
Or behind the camera.
There are the agents, the managers, the critics, the writers.
In this next segment, we'll be showing you the significant others that we see in the porn business.
We're sitting here with Lucky Smith and Ron and myself, Alexis. This is my personal manager. I spend a lot of time with him. He travels with me on business, and we want to ask him a few questions. How do you like your job?
I love my job.
What did you do before this?
I was an attorney.
So what part about the job do you like the best?
Negotiating with the companies. Once you get actually down to the point of contract negotiations or trying to determine who's going to be where, when, and discussing money, that's what I like.
Well, we're going to just watch you take off your clothes for a second. This looks kind of interesting here. Being this business is largely friendly and not so much strong contracts, there are a lot of word of mouth where there isn't really an actual written papers. Like, do you actually trust a company just because they say something?
Well, the contracts are binding even if they're verbal, so yeah, I mean, it's very little written stuff, but you have to use your ability to gauge people, and you all do that, the people that have managers and the people that don't. And sometimes you just, you have to trust people, that's what it's about. So, I mean, they can take advantage of you one time, and then you just remember and move on. There's a lot of companies.
And do you also manage her on the road, too? Do you travel with her?
It depends. I manage her and one other actress, Shayla LaVeaux. And so it depends on who's doing what in Los Angeles, but most of the time I travel with Alexis, and that includes on her dance schedule or personal appearances.
Do you have to be kind of like a bodyguard as well sometimes?
You know, I've never had one problem with that. A lot of people talk about that being a big issue, but she handles the men extremely well. I've never had one violent confrontation in all the time we've been traveling. That's been about a year.
And nightclubs usually have bouncers and security guards.
Oh, absolutely.
What many of you might not realize is many of the girls in the business, many of the actresses, besides acting in adult films, they all go on the road and do personal appearances and feature dancing. In fact, a dancer will usually get a higher salary if she's an adult film actress as well, and get more tips and be more popular among the public. Anyway, thank you. Anyway, with good-looking girls like this to manage, I know why they call him Lucky. We're here at Le Sex Shop, which is a store in the Valley.
Here we are in the capital of the adult film industry, San Fernando Valley.
And this is where they're sold. This is where adult films and videos are sold and rented. This is where they have items such as this, you know, various enhancers to your sex life, lubes, rubbers, dildos, vibrators, chains.
Yeah, tied up, spanked, whipped, chained.
Leashes, jewelry, pierced jewelry.
The holes don't show, as you can see.
All kinds of things.
We're sitting here with Jim Holliday, who is known as the adult film's best and biggest historian.
I do the one thing a lot of people in the industry that write the magazines and come up with all kinds of horse shit don't do. I talk to the people.
That's something I'm not going to talk about on this TV.
What do you do in your line of work?
Okay, about 15 and a half years ago, I stumbled into the adult industry strictly by accident. And I took a look around at the time, and no one had ever done any research on adult films. So I figured, why not be the pioneer, research it, and become the best in the world at something? And I don't give a shit what anybody says. The very huge amount of money, revenue, that the adult film and video industry generates makes this worthy of serious, if not scholarly, study. Previously, I've written 3 books. The first one was called How to Build Your X-Rated Video Library. The book I'm best known for is called Only the Best. I plan on releasing Jim Holliday's Silver Anniversary Handbook. So what the hell? I'm porno's historian. That's what I do. But what I'm all about is just trying to help all the good people succeed in their chosen profession. And if it's fuck film, so be it.
You're just a pervert, getting paid for it.
Yeah, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
We are with Jim South at World Modeling, who happens to be the busiest agent in the adult film business anywhere in the world?
Well, basically, I'm a talent agent for the people with men's magazines, also R-rated movies, X-rated video and films, and some regular Screen Actor Guild movies periodically, union films too.
I don't do anal. I'm serious. I will not do anal.
We work with just about all of the major magazines: Penthouse, Chic, Hustler, Swank, Genesis, Club, High Society, and a lot of European photographers that come here for shootings.
Chin up a little more.
Well, how does a girl or a guy come to you to get modeling work? How does it start?
Well, it starts by, we have ads approximately in about 15 newspapers running weekly. They call in. We explain to them on the phone that the high percentage of the work is nude. Some of them make appointments, some don't. When they come in, we have an exact thing that we explain, the money, how the pay works and everything. If they decide they want to give it a shot, they're not under a contract or anything with us. We in turn take a couple of standing nude Polaroids just to get the ball game started. Probably on a weekly basis, we get anywhere from 20 to 30 per week, men and women coming in.
Well, you're going to have to find somebody else.
If we get hypothetically 25, we probably have 10 to maybe 15 that we cannot get work. We have 10 that we can get work. If we get a real 10, 9 or 10 in a period of a month, we consider ourselves lucky.
Hi, you're here to see the agent Jim South, right?
Yes.
He's a good agent, isn't he?
Yes.
So why exactly are you here?
Well, I want to be in movies.
What have you done?
I've done a few movies and I've done some magazines.
Does Jim get you a lot of work?
Yes, always.
We're talking with Paul Jensen, and he's a designer. Why don't you tell us what you do?
Well, I basically design packaging for adult videos, Paul Norman stuff, and we have our own project, Professor Sticky, which we're doing in connection with Paul Norman. We're designing the character and the animation and producing the packaging for it, and we're trying to make it a big hit.
Did you see Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
This is the same type of thing because you'll be interacting with not only your partner, but also the animated figure that's in this, and he'll be running around, you'll be talking to him, and he'll be talking to you.
So what you do after you've drawn this character, you save that in the computer, and then you go frame by frame on the actual footage and make it move.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't we see you draw something like a pussy or a cock? No, a pussy, because you don't have one of those to look down at. How's this?
Oh, that'll work just wonderful.
Do you consider your job to be one of the most important steps in making a movie simply because this is the first thing they see when they walk into the video stores?
It's important. I wouldn't say it's the most important. I would say it is important because this is the first, like you said, it's the first contact between the customer and us. And it is important for us to have very, very clean, very well designed boxes and graphics. And the graphics can't overpower the picture. It is important, but I would not say it's the most important.
Right now we're in the duplicating lab of Cinderella. And as you can see, we have 1,000 different VCRs running at the very same time. This is where they take the master tape and tape it onto 1,000 different tapes. They were just duping 4 different movies at $250 apiece. So let's go see where that all starts. Right now we're in the control bay. This is where the monitors are, showing you what movies are being played and recorded onto the VCRs that we just saw. Now we're in Cinderella's warehouse, and this is where they do everything for the final touches, preparing these videos to send out to the stores. As you can see, we've got all kinds of movies all stocked up. They take all of the movies and put them into the boxes, put the labels on them, and then send them out to the stores. And then send them out to the stores that have ordered them.
Hey, why don't I just come on the donut and we'll make it a glazed donut?
We're here in Moonlight Entertainment's office talking to JB. He's going to make a sales call to one of his customers. Do you sit here and do this all day?
Well, between jerking off, yeah.
Busy. It's busy?
The whole idea is get them on the phone, get them to buy something. And if, after a while, when they trust you, you don't got to worry about it. You know, they know they're going to send you something decent. In 5 minutes, I'll call him back. Okay, bye. He must be at the liquor store. He'll be right back. So what do you think? Want to send you part 2? Look, I haven't found the bottom level yet. I can stoop a lot lower, believe me. It's coming up in future ones. Yeah, if I was going to start getting fucked in the ass, I think he'd be the last guy I picked, you know. No, boss, please, the pain. We take a shovel with us and dig a hole in the ground so we can stoop further at all times, you know. You want to say hi to Alexis?
Well, for one, I think he's one of the best fucks out there. Now your dick got hard. Well, he said you're one of his very best customers.
We hope you found this last half hour provocative
and captivating. And we want to thank all of you for watching Porn-O-Rama,
the show that takes you behind the scenes of X-rated videos.
I'd like you to know that my co-host has been wearing no underwear this entire time.
That's my thing.